A physical disability often has the power to put everyday things out of reach, from simply walking to driving a car. But when there's a will, there's a way, and an innovative drift boat is helping those with mobility limitations go with the flow. I spent a day on the Clark Fork River to learn more about it.
Strike? Yes.
A summer afternoon on the Clark Fork River, and river guide Steve Smith is taking his friend, Eric HOLLEN, out for a little fly fishing.
I think they're fine if caddis are emerging.
The fish are playing hard to get, but that's okay. Because just being out here is the best part.
It's really kind of a mindfulness process, right? You have to be kind of present and in the moment to be able to cast, and so you can't be thinking about all the bad things that have happened to you while you're fly fishing.
Eric would know something about that. 18 years ago, after serving as a U.S. Army Ranger, he was in a tractor accident that paralyzed him from the waist down.
Initially, of course, the injury is what I'd like to call a catastrophic life-changing injury. Like, it just fundamentally changes your life forever. Like, nothing's ever going to be the same, and you're kind of wrapped up in your head with the disability piece of it, rather than like, what can I do from here? It took me about 18 months to come to grips, like, hey, I might not recover from this in the way that I think I can.
But Eric persevered, becoming a para-Olympian, a world-class shooter, and now as a therapist at the Kalispell Vet Center, uses his own experiences to counsel fellow veterans. But sometimes, even the strongest among us need a little help, which, thanks to this, is easier. A drift boat with a hinged transom or back flap that allows Eric to easily roll up and in.
So for me, this is a really big deal. Like, I can just roll into the back of the boat and off we go, and there's no chance of someone dropping me. Like, these things happen, right?
It was Steve Smith of St. Ignatius who first learned about these boats. There aren't that many around, but when he saw one, he was immediately inspired. So he bought one.
I've been rowing and guiding for a long time, and I had a friend about 10 years ago that ended up in a wheelchair, and moving him in out of the boat was a challenge. So when I saw this design, I just thought that's the way to go, and be able to provide access to people that haven't had it for a while because of their injuries.
Eric tells me he loves fly fishing so much, no matter what, he would figure out a way to get on this boat. But with the transom, he's able to get on and off easily and without getting injured. In fact, the interior of the boat can be reconfigured to accommodate power chairs, manual chairs, or any kind of assisted technology. And that allows everyone to experience Montana on equal footing.
Anyone who's on the water enough sees the whole world as current and as a flow. And, it keeps going, and you have to deal with it. It's just like running a rapid. You come around a bend and there's something there's a challenge. And you have to take everything you have and apply it to what's right in front of you.
Steve's creating a nonprofit group called Hydro Logistics in hopes of buying more accessible drift boats. Because now that the floodgates are open, his hope is anybody who wants a day on the water won't be denied due to disability.
I'd really like to see eventually a community event where we bring a bunch of these boats together and float the Flathead River right outside of St. Ignatius. So I couldn't imagine not being able to fish or row, tomorrow if something happened to me.
Steve is also working with Camp Bullwheel in Ennis. That's a camp that also bought an accessible drift boat just like that. And by the way, before we hit the rapids, Eric's chair was locked down securely and everybody had on life jackets. We have links for more information on our website, kpax.com. Well, still ahead.